History Thunder Michael, tell me about yourself. I was born and raised in London until I was about 14 years old, and I moved to the US during my freshman year of high school. Growing up, my mother had a restaurant in London. It was an Ethiopian restaurant called Nala Restaurant, and I'd spend most of my afternoons after school going there, spending the day there, doing homework, playing with my cousins, or helping my mom out in the kitchen or in the back. And that'd also be the case during the weekends when I'd go to my uncle's restaurant down the street. Throughout my entire life, I've always been surrounded by good food and good conversations around good food. Even in Ethiopia, where my family is from, it's the same case. My grandmother there started a business when she was young. She went from selling small jewelry to opening a restaurant, which my uncle's taken over into a chain. And that chain is my goal. I would like to take over the family business one day, and I believe I can because I have the work ethic and the drive to do so. I value highly above all else delicious food because food is one thing that connects us all, and I also greatly appreciate having conversations with people, like free, open conversations in which both parties are able to feel comfortable and no shame or regret in talking about whatever there is they want to talk about. And there is no better place to have those kind of conversations than around a good meal. And that is what I hope to do with the restaurant. I want to take it global and take it from a chain in the Addis Ababa in Ethiopia to a chain around the world, stepping foot into London, Philadelphia, and the rest of the US and the West in general. Because I would like to host an environment. I want to create an environment in which people can talk openly around a good meal with full stomachs. Tell me about a significant accomplishment in your life. One of the greatest accomplishments in my life was running the Philadelphia Marathon. I ran it in November of 2016, and it took me 10 months of training to do it 3 times a week, on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And it was brutal. Every day we'd run minimum 3 miles on top of our workouts, and it was a struggle the entire time, but I had a goal, and that goal was to complete the marathon in under 4 hours and 45 minutes. And being someone who has never really been into sports, that was going to prove difficult, and it did. During the marathon, which is 26.2 miles, I began to lose my strength around mile 20, and it was getting harder and harder for me to take every step, and I didn't want to stop running, and I forced myself to keep going until eventually I got to the 23-mile mark, and I ran past a boy who had a sign above his head saying you only have a 5K left to go. And 5K races were races that my team and I had run plenty of times before, so I knew I was capable of running that in a short period of time. And I knew what I had done so far, and I knew that this was not my limit. So I took that as motivation, and I picked myself up and sprinted the rest of the way and cut down my marathon time from 4 hours and 45 minutes to 4 hours and 35 minutes. This proved to me that no matter how hard things get, and no matter how hard I may have to struggle, as long as I endure and persevere, eventually I'll succeed. Another major accomplishment in my life was becoming a Temple student. Temple is regarded as one of the best business schools in the country, and being a part of that inspires me to be better than I am, to uphold Temple's legacy. It's a good influence on me. I believe that being a member of Temple's community benefits me in that I am encouraged to actively look for my future rather than wait for it to happen. I've also become very independent since coming to Temple. Up until my freshman year of Temple, I had always lived with my mother and sister. I was always with family. It was a little bit different freshman year when I was in the dorm, but my mother and sister were only still 25 minutes away. They weren't far. But since then, I've become the only person in my family left in Philadelphia, left on campus. And this new sense of independence has strengthened me in terms of I know what it takes for me to survive on my own, and I can do what it takes to survive on my own. However, I've also built a network of people I can rely on around Philadelphia and around my community because of my ability to engage with and connect with a variety of different people. I've adapted to this city and this community, and I think it's one of the best things that could have happened to me in terms of preparing me for my future, because there are so many different people and personalities. It benefits me by allowing me to connect with more types of people down the line. Tell about something you have learned in class. Since joining this class, I've learned I wanted to be a transformational leader. Because of my ability to interact and engage with so many different kinds of people, I am generally respected by members of my community because they feel comfortable talking to me, and I communicate with them effectively and are able to decipher what they need and what they want. Since coming to this class, I've also learned to update myself on the news frequently, especially regarding business. Even I keep up to date with the news, and this is because I need to make sure I know how the world is affecting business on a day-to-day basis. If I want to someday take over the family business, I need to understand how certain things around the world are affecting businesses around the world. For example, coronavirus is causing a lot of businesses to shut down, and GE had to cut 10% of its aviation workforce down because of coronavirus. That's something I wouldn't have known if it wasn't me keeping up with the news. But it still would have impacted me greatly if I was
in the business scene already.